Welcome to this Qi Gong practice today. If you're planning on doing this practice in a chair, finding yourself comfortably seated in the chair, perhaps allowing your lower back to be in contact with the back of the chair to begin. And just noticing where your comfort level here is and making small adjustments with the body to get even more comfortable. If you're standing, allowing yourself to find a comfortable position, feet hip width apart, generally speaking. Really important as we're standing and moving to keep noticing the alignment of our own bodies. How does the spine feel in alignment to the shoulders, in alignment to the hips, to the pelvis, to the knees, to the ankles? And constantly making sure that our body is feeling as aligned as possible. It's different for each and every one of us. So we might, even if we're standing, just take a moment to just shake out whatever energy or positioning is there so we can settle into a position. We're going to start with a wave breath here, so gently placing palms in the direction of the abdomen, resting one on top of the other. As we do that, we might visualize a string at the top of the head, and with the next inhalation, visualize that string reaching towards the sky, pulling the spine open and tall. With the exhalation, we'll invite the spine to remain comfortably tall as we invite the shoulders and elbows to release. You can allow the pelvis and the hips to soften here. If you're standing, feeling into the strength of the legs. And just beginning by noticing the breath here. Just noticing where your breath is at in this moment. Nothing to change or fix. Notice if the breath is deep or shallow. Deep, touching into the base of the lungs, the abdomen expanding fully. Shallow, that breath maybe just touching below the clavicle and back. Whatever your breath is doing, allowing it to be okay just as it is. We're exploring the breath here throughout this practice, inviting it to be deeper without forcing it to be deeper. So in this moment of just inviting your attention to feel the sensation of the breath at the abdomen on the inhalation. And whatever expansion might be here, just feeling into that with each inhale. Starting to feel the breath as a wave. So with each inhale, it's as if the abdomen is the wave swelling, growing. With each exhale, that wave releases. So inhaling, feeling that wave expanding at the belly, into the ribs, and through the nose. Inhaling, feeling the belly expanding. On the exhale, releasing belly, ribs through the nose. Inhale, nose, ribs, belly. Exhale, belly, ribs, nose. Just following the journey at your own pace of this wave breath. Noticing the state of the mind as we begin this practice. Does it feel quiet? Does it feel busy, or anywhere in between? Where's your state of emotions been? This day, yesterday? What's happening in this moment? What's arising now? Contentment, frustration, sadness, ease, joy, letting it all be fine just as it is. We're exploring whatever is present in our experience without being those objects of the mind, of emotion, of the body. Notice what your physical state is like today. Where is the tension that's arising in this body? Just scanning the body for a moment. Where is the ease? Becoming that observer, so you're stepping away, again imagining as if you're a mountain, steady, strong, unwavering, just witnessing the changing weather around you. The mountain can't stop the weather, it just watches the weather and notices, it adapts its surface to all that's arising. Start to release those hands down and continue in that motion of being the observer of this wave through the body. As we start to bring the wrists as the leader in this motion, moving forward in front of the heart space on the inhale, on the exhale, moving back towards the heart space and down. So inhaling, moving forward with the wrists. Exhale, letting that pull back and down. If you're standing, same motion. You might even notice there's this gentle pull as you allow the wrists to be the leaders, moving, inhaling forward in front of the heart space, exhaling, releasing down. That if you're standing, the fronts of the feet and the heels start to get involved. Inhaling, the energy starts to move towards the front of those feet, exhaling towards the heels. There's nothing to force here, so if that's not your experience, letting that be okay. Inhaling, imagining as if your palms are pulling up earth energy and you're bringing that to the heart, releasing down that which no longer serves you. You don't need to know exactly what that is. You have an inner wisdom that knows exactly what it needs to release for you to have more space in your life to welcome that which nourishes and balances you. Start noticing that you're actually creating this energy in space, this circular motion in front of the body. There becomes a momentum. When the wrists finally reach in front of the heart center, let's move that energy out, opening the heart, palms opening, exhaling, closing. Those palms reach towards one another. Knees can gently bend here if you like. Inhaling, opening. If you're in the chair, you're doing exactly the same thing here. You're allowing yourself to close, exhale. Inhale, open. You might even start to notice as you're doing this that there's a slight C curve in the spine that goes in one direction and the other. If you're someone who likes to visualize, you might visualize yourself with wings, like a bird soaring, releasing, pushing that air underneath the body, opening, gathering air and energy into the wings, into the heart space here. Inhaling, opening, gathering energy, exhaling, releasing that which no longer serves us. You might notice throughout the practice that there are times when you want to release the breath through the mouth, and let that be okay. When we release the breath through the mouth, we're releasing energy that wants to go. And sometimes there's even sound that wants to go as well. So allow that to be invited in as well. The earth releases sound. We are earth elements, so that vibration also helps us create more spaciousness within us and around us in our biofield. Inhaling, we'll do this just a couple more times here. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling, release. Let's bring those hands just down in front of the pelvis, in front of the hips, as if we're holding a small ball. This is Qi ball, a ball of energy we can sense into the palms. Just notice what's here, temperature, other sensations, vibrations, tingling, buzzing. Is there stillness? You might even visualize each inhalation coming into the body and touching into that Qi ball. And being released from that Qi ball. This reservoir of energy that you're cultivating with each Qi Gong practice to fill your well, this energy that is a resource for you. So touching into this energy. Now if you're in a chair, we're going to start releasing that Qi ball. You might want to come closer to the front of the chair as we start to separate heaven and earth here. We're going to inhale. The palms are facing in opposite directions now. And on the exhale, the palms come towards one another, towards the heart space. You'll see the pinkies just slightly gliding by one another. As you inhale, opening this space now vertically. With that last breath, we opened that space horizontally. So we're opening the heart space now in a different direction. Inhaling, opening, separating heaven from earth. Exhaling, releasing. Inhaling, filling, welcoming. Exhaling, releasing. You know, and as we're moving along these patterns, just remember that Qigong is this beautiful practice. I'm going to let you do the full expression of this practice, but I want to show you that this is enough. Right here. So if you have shoulder issues, if you have other issues that are limiting your body in any movement in Qigong, remember that you can modify it based on your own needs. So starting small. And I would even say starting small means starting with visualization. So I'm going to go to the full expression now. So Qigong is beneficial if you're just watching someone else doing the practice and imagining as if you are doing the practice yourself. It's the energy system we have in the body. And that visualization itself starts to create a pattern. This is what athletes do when they practice their craft. They visualize before they actually even move the body itself. We'll do this just a couple more times here. See if you can expand even more deeply. Even more deeply for that last one. And release. And we'll release our hands back onto that abdomen. Taking a few breaths here. Remember, there's nothing to force here. Just feeling the body breathing itself is enough. Going to start moving into knocking on the door of life, and that's going to allow the leaders to be the hips here. If you're in a chair, moving to the front of the chair, arms will come out, and we're just gently moving back and forth. So you'll notice in a chair you might have a little bit more limitation in terms of where you're moving. I'm allowing right now my arms to only be moved by the hips. So I'm moving a little bit more quickly so you can see the motion. But what's happening is, if I'm just moving my hips in the chair, my arms will start to slightly move back and forth. It's the movement of the hips that's guiding the movement of the arms themselves. If you're looking for a little bit more movement, you might invite yourself to stand, feet about hip width apart, checking again with the alignment, spine, shoulders, hips, knees, ankles. The hips, again, remember, are the leaders. I'm asking them to move like a gear. And as they're moving like that gear, my upper body starts to follow. And as I allow my upper body to follow, I'm noticing my lower arms are getting involved, slightly tapping into that space, the lower back, the lower abdomen. And so you can allow that gentle tapping to happen if that feels right for you. Sometimes this movement can feel a little unsettling, and I would say that movement in general, especially when we have trauma, can bring up a lot of emotions. The body remembers our history, and so when we start to drop into the body space, emotions begin to arise, memories might even begin to arise, and our most empowered way of being is to be the conscious observer of what's arising, instead of getting trapped in the storylines of the past. As we start to understand what thoughts, what emotions, what physical sensations are arising together and showing us where we're vulnerable, where we're tender, we can start to bring in other practices that help our mind, body, and heart feel more ease. And that's when we begin to create more patterns here. So notice right now we're creating a pattern, a physical pattern in the hips. And with each new movement, as we're not forcing anything, the hips start to open and allow for more spaciousness. It's really what we're creating here, is more spaciousness. There's nothing to force here. There's nothing to fix here. You're not broken. Your mind has been patterned by your socialization process. Your body has been patterned by habit. Your emotions have been patterned by repetition of engaging in them. So can you allow yourself, when the mind starts to guide you into past or future thinking during this movement, can you guide yourself back to feeling the hips in this moment? Just feeling the sensation, sounds coming and going, the breath doing itself. All attention on the movement of the hips now. And what about that gentle twisting that's happening in the knees now? Bringing attention there. What about that movement that's happening in the ankles now? And I'm noticing that my body is compressing down into the earth, so I'm inviting in that spine to grow tall. Visualizing that spine being pulled towards the sky as I continue to let the hips release. Remember, if you're in the chair, you can still swing the arms only if the hips are allowing. If you're just swinging the arms to swing the arms, it becomes a completely different movement, and actually a movement that can become very straining on the upper body. So you want to make sure that the leader is always the hips in this motion. We're going to slowly let this come to a close. So we allow the body's motion itself from bottom to top to slow down. We may have just opened some things up there, especially with that ringing out. So we're wringing the spine from the base of the skull to the tailbone, that wringing out, the wringing of the organs in the abdomen, the wringing of the body. So let's shake things out a little bit here. Whatever residual energy just may have been wrung out, we're gonna shake. So again, we can do this in our chairs as well. Excuse me. My feet are doing a little bit of bouncing here. My glutes are bouncing up and down. If that's a little bit too much in the chair, maybe you're just shaking the arms first or shaking one leg at a time. So just notice what you want to be doing. If you're standing, feet grounded, feel the soles of the feet in contact with the surface below. Allow some buoyancy to be happening. You can start to visualize yourself just being almost like if you think about a baby in a doorway in one of those little bouncy chairs. If you want to think about being buoyant in the water, just noticing what images might arise for you when you feel bouncy. What feels bouncy to you. So we start to give permission to the body itself to start moving in this buoyant fashion. So again, who is the leader here? We're asking the lower half of the body to be the leader. So my lower half is very engaged. I'm actually not intentionally moving my hands right now. That's all coming from the lower half. If I want to increase the shaking, I really want to release things, I can. So just noticing what feels right for you. Explore with your body. If it feels good to be out here, if you want the arms to be up here in the front. Whew. And this is a great movement to really release the breath. So you're going to be hearing me doing some sample sounds for you. Only do that if it feels right for you. At some point I'll be doing a healing sounds video for you. Those are some of the healing sounds. I don't want to identify particular body parts with them right now. I'd like to invite an exploration of the sounds that feel right for you. So just noticing that. We don't always need to know the whys. And we can drop into the what. What circumstances are creating what experience? That's where our power is. What's happening right now? And what can I do to consciously respond to it in a way that creates how I truly want to be and feel? We'll start to release the shaking slowly. And taking a moment to just drop into feeling that Qi ball. Eyes opened or closed. Your eyes are open, fixing your gaze on one thing to help keep your attention. The experience of feeling whatever's arising in the palms, vibration, tingling, buzzing, heat. You might even feel a thicker energy there. And allowing yourself to expand into a full sensorial being, hearing sounds, moving through the field of your awareness, sensing the air touching the skin on the body and fabric on the body, noticing taste in the mouth, noticing what you're seeing, whether it's behind the eyelids or in front of you with eyes wide open. What do you smell right now? And energetically, what do you sense right now? We'll start to release these palms. We're going to imagine that we have two really big, beautiful fruit trees on either side of us. So again, if you're sitting, doing the same sort of motion, remember, you can just visualize, and that is enough. If you're someone who has an injury on one arm, let's say, or let's say you have an amputation on one side of the body, you're still moving the body in the same way. So energetically, you're still moving the body in the same way. So for example, if we're reaching up here, but you have a shoulder injury, maybe you're only reaching here, and that's enough because you're creating the pattern of reaching in that direction. Over time, the body's going to say, okay, this is where we're moving, and eventually you move up. If you have an amputation on this arm, you're still creating the pattern of reaching. There is an energetic limb here that if we're not engaging is going to create more phantom limb pain. So we're visualizing that energy stretching out. We're visualizing that energetic arm stretching out in the same way. So visualizing those two big, beautiful fruit trees. We're going to start to reach, and I'm just going to start in the chair. I'm going to reach up to one side. You're going to see my foot start to pivot on the toe. When I reach up to one side, I'm twisting my wrist. We're starting to lubricate that joint, right? And then we're bringing that back into our torso. And then we're inhaling to the other side. The leg pivots, goes onto the toe. We twist the wrist. We're coming back in, okay? If we're in standing, same thing. We reach up. We twist the wrist, we come back, bring that into the body. We pivot onto the toe, reach up, and then back. And let's do this in full motion. As we inhale, reach, grab that fruit, twist the wrist, pluck, come in. Inhale, reach, pluck, twist, come in. Reach, pluck, twist, come in. Reach, pluck, twist, come in. Remember, we're inhaling up. On the toe, exhaling down, inhaling up, on the toe, exhaling down, inhaling up, on the toe, exhaling down, inhale up, on the toe, exhale down, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. We'll do this in silence, just feeling into that movement, feeling into that beautiful line you're creating between the fingertips reaching towards the sky and the toe grounded in the earth. Constantly creating that connection between that sun star energy and the earth star energy. It's like we're charging ourselves like a battery here. A few more. Really reaching, stretching, opening. These last two. Inhaling, Stretching open, exhaling, close. Inhale, reaching. Exhale, close. Bringing ourselves with palms onto the belly. Taking a moment to drop all attention into feeling the sensation between that palm and connection with the belly. Feeling into the body, breathing itself. Taking a moment to notice the state of the mind, the heart, the body itself. Feeling into gratitude for what this body has been able to do today. Whatever movement it provided. However it may have responded. Feeling into being a breathing being. Being a living being. Being an empowered being. And we'll start to release this as we bring palms into the center of the chest. Feet again about hip width apart. So if we're seated, we're going to start to bring the right elbow over to the right side as we look over the left shoulder. We'll bring the palms back to center, look forward, bring the left elbow out as we look over the right shoulder. So you can see if I'm seated, my legs, or in this position anyway, are remaining still as I'm moving into gliding back and forth. If we're standing, you're going to notice that the knee, right elbow, move to the right side as we look over the left shoulder, as we bring those palms into the center and then glide with the left knee and left elbow to the left side. We're looking over the right shoulder and back in. Right knee, right elbow out, look over the left shoulder, back in. The gazing over the shoulder is so important as we bring that spine out, as we stretch the muscles of the neck and shoulders open. Feel if you're standing, the power in your legs. Let's do a couple more here. Back to center. Back into that Qi ball. Dropping the knees, softening the hips. Take a few breaths here. And we'll drop into the spinal cord breath now. Now remembering again, spinal cord breath. This is a small version of what spinal cord breath looks like. We're inhaling soft fists, elbows come out in a W. And then we're bringing elbows into the belly, chin to chest. Inhaling, opening, start to do the full expression. Exhaling, closing. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhaling, open. Exhale, close. You'll start to notice here too that there's a bit of a C curve in the spine. Remember, only going as far as is comfortable if you have any injury in the shoulder. Let's just do a couple more of these. And release down. We'll finish by scraping the barrel. So if you're seated, you'll be towards the front of the chair and you're moving from the hips. So there's a circular motion moving from the hips. If you're standing, it's as if you're in a barrel, and every edge of the glutes, the hips, the pelvis want to be in contact with the inside of that barrel. So you're just scraping. And remember, the hips are the leaders here. So we're allowing them to sort of just move in every direction as we just allow the body to breathe itself. And then in the other direction. Remember, if you're sitting, same thing. If you're sitting, you may have to rely a little bit more on the pelvis even as you're moving in this direction. It might be a little clunky at first. That's okay. You're repatterning the body. It takes time. And we'll stop, come into a state of stillness. If you're seated, just bringing feet close together, hands on top of the thighs, palms facing down if that feels comfortable for you. Be towards the front, or you can be towards the back of the chair, whatever's comfortable. And then if you're standing, just coming into a standing position, feet grounded, ankles, knees, hips soft, hands on the belly. You can even allow the feet to be a little bit closer together. We're going to visualize if we're bamboo in the wind. So start to feel planted, rooted, grounded as bamboo in the earth. Soles of the feet growing roots. Feel the spine growing tall as you visualize the sun pulling the bamboo up as the bamboo reaches towards the sun. Feel the slight movements of the body back, forth, side to side, the toes, the balls of the feet, the heels, grasping. And just like bamboo in the wind, we are flexible. The more that we softly move with the tides of life, the less that we succumb to suffering. The more that we allow ourselves in each moment to notice, where is there flow and ease accessible here? A shift of perception, taking a breath, stepping away, just being the observer. Knowing that in any moment, there's an inner wisdom in you that always knows the exact right response in every given situation in support of your wellness. Allowing yourself to cultivate that dialogue of intuition. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste. The inner light in me honors and sees the inner light in you. Be well.